All right. Welcome to Awaken Your Spirit. My name is Bridget Harrington, and today I am interviewing a special person to my heart. Her name is Jamie Lee. She is the intuitive lifestyle on TikTok. She's got over 300,000 plus followers. She's a spiritual entrepreneur and also has like created this amazing life and new reality for her and her family from the ground up. Anybody who is listening can learn from this woman. I personally have learned so much from her, and on a personal level, also in a level that I want to follow in. Like I want to do what she does, and this is what I want to do. So I'll go ahead and let Jamie introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. As Bridget said, I'm Jamie. I'm the intuitive lifestyle. I, just love what I do, and helping people is my passion, and telling them knowledge that they wouldn't, normally find out from mainstream.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, could you tell us like a little bit about where you come from, like a little bit about your past? Are you
Yeah,
okay with
yeah,
that?
for sure. So, I grew up. My mom was a single mother, and she had a big problem with alcohol. So I was an only child. Felt very alone most of the time. Grew up in bars, and she dated bikers, and so lots of fighting, lots of drinking. So that's pretty much what my childhood looked like.
Mm,
And soon enough, I ended up following the same path that she did,
mhm,
um, becoming addicted to drinking and using drugs and doing anything that would make me feel better because at a baseline, I didn't feel okay.
mhm,
Yeah. So I went
mm,
through a long road of that. I was using for about 14 years until it wasn't working for me anymore. Um, I was in more pain than I had ever experienced,
mm.
previously, which was what I was trying to run from and hide from in the beginning, anyways.
Exactly.
And
Mhm,
it wasn't working,
mhm,
because we're spiritual beings, and so I was just like mentally and emotionally and spiritually bankrupt. I had nothing left, and
mhm,
so I had found myself in jail, looking at going to prison for 7 years. And so when you're 26 years old and you're a woman, that is that's a harsh reality. And somebody who did want children and wanted to get married and all of those things, although that was very far off.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean that was really that woke me up.
Wow.
And you know, I ended up being able to leave jail 2 weeks later. It was God, it was spirit, it was divine intervention. And, I was done, and I told the universe I was done, and I meant it.
Mm,
Um, so I'm 9 years sober still. And
mm.
yep. And I went through, the 12-step programs, and they really, really helped me like be able to introduce myself into society again. You
Yep.
know, 'cause I I couldn't look anybody in the eye. I didn't have any friends. It was just relationship after relationship, just fill me, give me, make me feel better, make me feel something, because I just didn't have anything. And so it helped me introduce myself back into society. I did so much trauma work, through those 12 steps, and helping others and learning. It really essentially is programming. So I had to leave
Mhm.
programming behind, which is really what manifestation is. We all know that. And if you don't know that, get yourself into manifestation, into learning the laws of the universe. But we are so, as human beings, we are so programmed. And it starts from when we're a kid, from our parents' belief systems, and from what we see on TV,
Mhm,
what we learn in school, all of those things.
mhm.
Taught to stay in line, listen, you better obey, you better go to college and
Mm,
become in debt. And if you don't, you're a loser.
mhm.
And you need to get your high school diploma, which means absolutely nothing. By the way, doesn't mean anything. So we're taught all of these things, and I fell into that as well. I mean, even I I was in recovery, and everybody around me was going to nursing and nursing school and going to be a doctor, which is fantastic, and that's absolutely amazing. And so I myself wanted to help people, and so I was like, well, I should just go to nursing.
Mhm.
Well, and so I did, and I had a 4.0 the whole time. No, not nursing school, but the prerequisites for it. And when it came time to take my test, I failed by 1 point. Now tell me why that happened.
Right.
I was completely broken. And guys, I had a 4.0. It
Right.
was just not for me. The universe is like, no, that's not, that's the wrong path. And if you know me and you know my content on TikTok, could you imagine me being a nurse?
I mean,
No, I'm very holistic, guys. Very holistic. Okay?
yeah, holistic. Right,
We
right,
talk about prescriptions. I'm the whole other side of the street. Okay?
right,
On the
right,
other side of TikTok.
right.
So yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, I know you personally, so I know your story, and that's exactly why I wanted to share this with others, because it has lit a fire under my ass to see somebody come from that. And then you have this point where you wanted to follow, right? You wanted to go in the direction that other people, it's like, why can't I do what other people are fucking doing? Like, why did you fail? That's just like huge. So I also can relate to that wholeheartedly, of not fitting in and not going in the same direction as the crowd and everything, and like having this yearning inside that tells me that I have to take the step in that different direction. So your story has really, really helped me, and that's why I wanted people to hear it. So would you say that was like the time where you kind of woke up to like a higher reality, something else is going on here?
Absolutely. And and I just want to say this too. If you're doing something in life and it just does not feel good, I mean, school was I had anxiety the whole time. I mean, it was a nightmare. Like, I wasn't having fun. I wasn't looking forward to anything. But, if you're on a path and that's what's happening to you, it's the wrong path.
Mm.
In hindsight 2020, and through all my experiences in life, I know that. When things are right and in alignment for you, it'll just work out perfectly. But yeah, it was around that time. I ended up going vegan, and I'm not vegan now, but I ended up going vegan because something in me was like, you got to eat better. Like, this isn't right. So intuitively, I knew the food was just not good, but I had no idea the gravity of how it was closing me off just eating mainstream food, the standard American diet. And I ended up going vegan, and it just blew the lid off of everything. All of a sudden, I felt compassionate. I had a spiritual awakening, and I really believe that was my beginning. And again, I'm not saying everybody go vegan, because it's not for everybody. Everybody's body is different. But when I took the trash diet out and started eating just all vegetables and legumes and things that had a frequency, right? Like, you want to eat things that have a frequency, that are alive, that are not dead, like Cheez-Its and, stuff like that. When that happened, I opened up. You could say my chakras began to clear out, spiritually. I was connected, even more connected to my higher self, because all those toxins completely block you from spirituality and heavy metals that's in all the food. So that was what happened. And then I specifically remember going to a meditation with Katie Abrams. Shout out to Katie Abrams. I love her. And so she was an energy worker. She was an energy healer, and she held meditation circles, and she would give you Reiki while you were meditating. And she would give you a message after. I'm going to cry. And my whole life, I went through like just wearing a mask and being afraid to tell people and show people who I really was. And so I came up really harsh, and I'm better than you and all that. That was a part of me growing up in recovery. when it came time for her to give me my message, she was like, "You need to take the mask off." And like a woman who did not know me, and I like when she was giving me Reiki, it was unbelievable the energy that I felt. And I was like, wow, like there's more to this life. There's more. And so I ended up taking spiritual classes. I got my Reiki masters. I went through psychic mediumship schools. I actually did 2 of those because when I sat down to connect spiritually, I would meditate and then I would notice that they were spirits all around, and oh my God, they want to talk to me, and oh my God, they have messages for other people, and so I was like, oh, this is my path, and I was very, very good at it, very good at it. I still am. Um, but I just want everybody to know, though, too, everybody can do that. We all are born with innate intuition and connection to other realms and to spirituality. And so all the while I'm like, oh my God, I'm a medium. It was just, I was tapped in, and if you choose to do that, you can. So that's where everything started.
Gosh, yeah, I remember that. And yeah, you just took off, right? Like you just took off. That was amazing to watch also. I definitely been through some, spiritual awakening moments, times, and I was never comfortable about sharing about them, in front of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time I obviously was going a little crazy and a little over the top, and it just I woke up to this new reality of like holy shit, like everything I thought was true and believed and really really lived my life by those non-existent virtues and principles, they just weren't real for me anymore. They just went away, and I was wide awake, and I was seeing and hearing things completely differently. And it's like I can't explain why that happened to people like you and I mean, it just did, right? And it set us on a new path and a new way of seeing things. Like my perspective was blown, and you can't go back, you can't like go back to normal after that, right? Like I just couldn't. So I'm in that place where it's like, I'm at the crossroads. I need to jump, right? I need to jump, like you tell me, and just go and just do it. I have to start somewhere. And, spirit has been nudging me for a really long time. And I've been pushing it down, avoiding, out of fear. And now it's like, I gotta take the next right step in the right direction. So what are what would you say, like, at the time, do you remember any symptoms of like having a spiritual awakening, so that other people?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
remember the first time, well, my first one, I had a dream. I had a dream of this man. He came to me, and I don't even remember what he said. I think he said he went through a spiritual awakening.
Perfect. Yeah.
Real, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I was journaling, so I sketched him in my book. And come to find out, Tim and I were going through some old photo albums at our house. We lived in his grandma's house. We took over his grandma's house when she passed away. I never met them, and turned out it was his grandfather. So we're
Wow.
going through some old pictures, and I was like, oh my God. And I was seeing numbers, my whole life though too. I would wake up at 111, 222, 333, even when I was using and been like, what is this? But
Mhm.
it just completely magnified everywhere I was looking. I was seeing that. I was seeing hawks. Hawks were just everywhere. Everywhere I would look, there'd be one like perched in a tree. You know what I mean? And I love them.
Mhm.
Like a symbol of being a messenger of God and all these things. And so there was a lot of that. There was a lot of like me using oracle cards, and that's how I healed myself, or I took healing practices with my oracle cards. And I would, when I was lost or not feeling good, I would choose 3 cards, and then I would write on them, and they were just always spot on. Always.
Right. Yeah.
And and then another time, this is huge. This is another like crying moment. I was doing a workshop. It was a energy healing workshop that really changed my entire life.
Mhm.
Because they were doing like it was very intimate. It was only like 6 people, and we would journal and we would learn things, and we would do these practices that were so uncomfortable in front of other people for me,
Mhm.
because it
Mhm.
was so guarded. And then one of them was a static dance. It was just like 6 people in a room, super crunchy, like
Mhm.
super duper hippie, crunchy,
Mhm.
environment. And everybody had to dance to this like whimsical music. And I was like dying inside. I was just like, I can't do this. This is
Mhm.
felt like I don't like so wrong.
Mhm.
Um, and so I tried, and then I walked outside, and then I came back in, and they had a table of cards, and here we go. I picked a fucking card, and it said dance, and I just lost it. And I
Yeah.
just crying, and then I just started dancing, and that was like
Huge. Yeah.
that was it. It's
Right.
so that was just so big, and then there's also, which I'm sure you'll ask at some point, there's the part about the fear,
That was my next one.
what other people are thinking about you.
Ah,
And she's gone crazy. And have you heard about Jamie and the people who didn't accept me for what I was doing, or they did, but they would just be talking behind your back? And
mhm.
that's what I went through. I went through friends turning against me, because I had believed in essential oils and, like making fun of me. And there was a lot of nastiness that went with that. And there were times where I wanted to stop. I was like, is this like, what am I doing? And then
Mhm.
I would always see a sign,
Right.
dear me, perseverance. And so whenever and it literally was every time I would be like talking to somebody crying about it, and I would be outside, and there would be like 4 deer walking across the street, like 10 feet from me.
Mm.
And the same thing happened a long time ago too, where I did a reading for somebody. I did like my first reading party, and the first three did great, and the last woman, good lord, she was so closed off, and I was really hard on myself about this. And I remember driving and being like, what are you doing? Like you're not a medium. Why are you even doing this?
Right.
And at the same time I was thinking about that, a deer ran into my SUV. It ran
Oh,
into it, bounced off it, and then ran
mhm.
away. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, I hear you. So
Mhm.
when you learn how to read the signs, and you learn how to check in with yourself,
Mhm.
like, is this really what I believe? Is this really what I want? You have to keep going. And
Mhm.
those people who are acting that way are not accepting you, good. Let them fall to the wayside, because none of those people are in my life now, are they?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I love them, and I send them love and bless their hearts and everything. I hope they're doing fantastic in life.
Mhm.
But we don't have anything in common, anyways. You know,
Mhm. Right.
so
Right.
it
Yeah.
it has a way. Your life and your purpose in the universe has a way of leading those people out of your life, and you just have to have belief. You have to have belief in
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was wondering is like I know there was so much fear there, but you had the courage to walk through it, and regardless of what other people were saying,
Yeah.
or like all the attacks, like I mean I witnessed firsthand. That's got to be hard, right? And like at the time, like 2 years ago, I wasn't prepared. Now I'm at a point where it's like no one's living my life.
Yeah,
No one is gonna be here and raise my children with me, and like no
that's right.
one is here with me, right? It's me and me, and me and God, and like, or spirit, whatever you believe in. It is my responsibility to walk into those doors that are opening in my direction, regardless of what anyone has to fucking say, right?
That's right.
So I literally, you have paved the way, and you could pave the way for so many other people to literally create your own reality and just walk in the next right direction, regardless of the fear, regardless of what other people think, as long as it's right for you and your heart. Like, you've shown me that. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So I know it's not going to be easy, but people like you, and there's so many other people too that give me strength and guidance, and like, just do it. And that's where I'm at. So I was going to ask, are there any pointers, or certain actions or disciplines that you took on a daily basis that really amplified your career here?
Well, first of all, I want to say that it can be easy. It doesn't have to be where you're like, I know this is going to be hard.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be like that because we create our own reality. So you either create your reality by design or default. If you believe that it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard because the universe is bringing you whatever you believe in, whatever you're thinking about.
Right.
So, you know, I just always believed that I was meant for this. And that's really what paved the way. If you know that, you feel it. And even if you don't know that, lie to yourself. That's some things that you got to feed. You have to starve the fear and feed the faith. And if this is something that you want and you have some programming that tells you that you're not good enough and you suck and you're not smart enough, you're not capable, how is this going to happen? You got to starve that fear. You have to make shit up. You got to make it up. That's why people talk about self-affirmation. You have to say those. My manifestation coach, which has changed my life. But he talks about how we don't really think on our own. We're not really thinking. You're not thinking on purpose. You're not purposefully thinking. Just think about that for 1 second. Are you purposefully thinking? Or is your brain just like sending, you know what I mean, just talking?
Right.
And that really hit me hard because if I'm purposefully thinking, I'm saying I'm a successful businesswoman. I have the house of my dreams on the water with lots of land. I'm so happy and grateful for my daughter and how she's grown up and she's so balanced. I'm so happy and grateful for my husband and our perfect relationship. Right? All these things, because that's what I want. So that's purposefully thinking, and so the universe will bring that to me because the universe does not have a sense of humor. Whatever you're thinking, it has to. It's universal law. It has to bring it to you.
Right.
If you're thinking about how you're afraid of something or how something's going to be hard, guess what? So learning that is something. Purposefully thinking, writing things down that you want, writing your dream down and reading that every single day. Moving through the people who don't agree with what you're doing. There's a block button. Use that. That's what I do. Because any successful person will tell you the company that you keep is extremely important because you are who you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with somebody who doesn't, if you're hanging out with somebody who doesn't believe in what you're doing or is very negative or whatever it is, it's going to bring you down. So the people that I keep around me, making sure that I eat a balanced diet, I take care of myself, and I help people no matter what. Helping people and having that vibration of, not only gratitude, but giving and forgiveness, and just love. Those things, continuously making sure that your vibration is high, in connection with something that you believe in.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I can definitely say you have not only created this new life and abundance for your family, you're financially successful, but like because you are in service to others, because you help others, because you've taken that to the next scale of things. And that's where I want to go. Because I know that in my heart that is like the foundational principle that on everything, right? If I want anything, I must give, right? Or
Right.
so yeah, I all that stuff's so good. Would you have any message for the world that you want anyone to hear that's listening, maybe, or will hear this later? Anything else you want to say?
Well, my big message, right? Like everything I'm about is trust your intuition, and it's based in the foundation is in health and wellness. It is. If you are not diseased and you're not disordered, neither are your kids. And if you feel like something is wrong and things aren't working, please go the holistic route. Please seek that because you can heal.
Mhm.
You can heal. I do it every day in my group. I see it happen every day, specifically with children. As you know, my daughter, this is kind of the foundation for my whole TikTok. My daughter
Mhm.
had a speech delay. I knew something was wrong. She should have been talking. Um, they wanted to, the next test, was we came back to the well visit. When we came back to the well visit, they were like, well, we'll take a look at testing her for autism if she doesn't talk by the next well visit.
Oh, God.
Which, and then they sent us on our way, which is like, are you serious? Nothing else? That's it? Okay. So I, being so intuitive, I said, I need to get this. I need to get this heavy metal detox and detox my daughter. And so following my intuition led me down even more of a rabbit hole. And she started talking within 5 days of using it. She had pooped parasites on day 2 of using the drops. And I got on my TikTok and I told every single mom about it that I could. And I'm pretty much known for that now. And, you know, from there, it led me even more down a bigger rabbit hole of what's actually happening. And that, ADHD, 3-letter, 4-letter diagnoses in children or people, all of these things are connected to a heavy toxic load and methylation issues, which all can be healed
Mhm.
if you get the proper holistic practitioner and the proper supplements, because a lot of us have nutrient deficiencies because of methylation issues, which in turn make it so we don't have the proper brain chemistry. We can't create the perfect amount of neurotransmitters that we need to have a stable mood. And so that's what causes addiction, anxiety, depression, every other mood disorder out there. And myself and my husband being addicts, obviously, I wanted to make sure that my daughter didn't have to suffer that way. And she won't, because of the detox I did, the methylation testing I did. She's on a neurotransmitter cream. And so the doctors and my practitioner said that because we caught it early, she's not, her brain chemistry is going to be perfect. So
Wow.
in health and wellness, don't settle. Don't settle. If you have had a diagnosis, that is my message to the world. Don't settle. Just so many. I have so many different messages, but
Right. No, that's great. That's great. I mean, all of this is just like information, right? Like we just don't know what we don't know.
right,
And
right,
you have taken that to a next level of things, getting it out to the masses with your little three
yes,
minute clips
yep,
on TikTok, which is like, look at that. That is so amazing that so many people were able to find this product through your TikTok, and like it, you know what I mean? And it's helped me and my girls. Like honestly, they've been without it for 6 weeks. I I have sick kid every other week for 6 weeks. That is how I know that stuff works 100%. And like I was just telling my dad that earlier. So love this stuff. So okay, so where can we find you if we're looking for, the products and we want to follow your story more? Tell us where we can find you.
yeah. So I have my TikTok, The Intuitive Lifestyle. I have a YouTube, which is The Intuitive Lifestyle as well. And on Facebook, I'm just Jamie Lee. And there's on each one of my social media platforms, I have my link tree with literally tons of links and information just for everybody. And on Telegram, I am The Intuitive Lifestyle there as well.
Right.
So I have a holistic mamas group there helping with detoxing and just holistic remedies for sick kids and just, literally everything. And lots of information on MTHFR, which is a gene mutation that half the population has and is causing lots and lots of issues and is nobody knows about it or nobody's really talking about it. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, Jamie. All of those links I will post in the links below. If you guys liked and want to see more of this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell button. And thanks for joining. Thanks,
Hey,
Jamie.
thanks,
I
Bridget. Love
appreciate
you.
it. I love you too.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.